Today on NewsWatch, Hillary Clinton saying again she didn't send any classified information over her personal email account. Hear why the latest reports say that's not true. Plus, 9/11 was a wake-up call to the world. 15 years later, Islamic jihadists are still trying to dominate and destroy. But the biggest threat to America may not be who you think it is. And helping the home front. This soldier stepped up to serve his country. See who's stepping up now to serve he and his family. Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Caitlin Burke. As Election Day draws near, the criticisms between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton are becoming more pointed. That's as both candidates campaign hard in those must-win battleground states. Charlene Aaron has the story.
With just 59 days till the election, Hillary Clinton is still facing questions and attacks over her email controversy. Donald Trump took shots at her over the issue Thursday while speaking in Cleveland.
Remember, Hillary Clinton was emailing about the drone program, among many other extremely sensitive matters. This is yet more evidence that Clinton is unfit to be your commander-in-chief.
Clinton has claimed that she didn't send or receive any email with classified marking. But a new report from Fox News says that a Clinton email had classified markings on virtually every paragraph. Meanwhile, Clinton talked freely about her faith to the National Baptist Convention, the oldest African-American Baptist denomination. Speaking in Kansas City, Missouri Thursday, she said,
"Sometimes people ask me, are you a praying person? And I tell them if I wasn't one before, woo, 1 week living in the White House or on the campaign trail would have turned me into a praying person."
Clinton's lead over Trump has been dropping in the polls in recent days, but the race will, as always, come down to the Electoral College, especially in the key swing states, and the polls show the race getting tighter in 4 of the key states. In a new Quinnipiac poll that also includes the 2 independent candidates, Trump has a slight lead in Ohio, while the Republican and Democrat are tied in Florida, with Clinton holding slim leads in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. Clinton still appears to have the lead in the Electoral College, but the campaign is far from over, and both candidates are likely to focus the last 2 months of the campaign on the battleground states, where the race will almost certainly be decided. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
North Korea has conducted a 5th higher-level atomic test. They say it could allow them to build stronger but smaller and lighter nuclear weapons. South Korea reports the blast felt like a magnitude 5 earthquake. The explosive yield was reportedly 70 to 80% of the force of the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima. South Korea says the test showed the fanatic recklessness of the Kim Jong-un government. French police arrested 3 women on Thursday after a parked car was found loaded with 6 gas canisters. It was located next to Paris's Notre Dame Cathedral. The women are being described as radicalized. The French Interior Ministry said they appeared to be preparing new violent and imminent actions. Pages written in Arabic were also found in the vehicle. Advocates for the persecuted church are urging U.S. Christians to help their fellow believers in the Middle East. As Abigail Robertson reports from Washington, dozens of those advocates gathered to call for action to end the genocide against Christians.
The greatest humanitarian crisis of our era is unfolding in the Middle East, with thousands of Christian populations facing genocide.
The video depicts ISIS gunmen shooting the Christians in a desert area. It also shows ISIS killers beheading other Christians on a beach.
My daughter has nightmares and screams in the middle of the night. They're coming to kill us.
And some of the world's oldest Christian artifacts and churches ruthlessly destroyed.
The terrorists tried to erase Malula's Christian heritage by shooting up icons. They used knives to desecrate a depiction of the Last Supper.
A group called In Defense of Christians organized 3 days of events in Washington, aimed not only at getting lawmakers to address this issue, but also to discuss how American believers can get involved.
The sad reality is we're seeing things actually get worse. In Iraq, in Syria, and even in Lebanon, we're seeing increasing challenges facing our communities there. So I think we've yet to turn the corner and yet to kind of sort of witness any of the progress that we'd like to see.
Leaders from In Defense of Christians say one of the greatest hopes for ending Christian persecution in the Middle East is by bringing awareness to evangelical Americans who can advocate for their brothers and sisters around the world.
What the Middle East Christian diaspora are very often saying is once this issue ends up in the hands of American evangelicals, that will be the thing that changes the issue and saves Christianity in the Middle East.
Duran suggested American churches can help by adopting a refugee family, sponsoring trips to safer parts of the Middle East, and lobbying elected officials to create safe havens for those suffering.
Engaging in advocacy, calling their members of Congress, calling their elected representatives, telling them that they care about the Christians of the Middle East. I think the leaders from the evangelical community taking site visits all around the Middle East, going to refugee camps, going to IDP camps, telling the Christians that they care, showing them that they care, and then figuring out humanitarian and political solutions to the problems that they face.
IDC and other groups believe that if enough congressmen fight the issue, the administration will be pushed to get involved too. Reporting from Washington, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
The long legal ordeal for former Virginia Governor Bob McDonald is over. Prosecutors announced Thursday they will not pursue a second trial against McDonald and his wife. The decision comes just 2 months after the Supreme Court overturned his corruption conviction. Although McDonald is a free man, he paid a high price, including the end of a once promising political career. McDonald says he'll now commit his life to serving others outside of the political arena. A West Point football coach is under fire for saying the name Jesus at the end of a post-game locker room prayer. A video of the prayer at the U.S. Military Academy was posted online and sparked outrage. The anti-religion group called the Military Religious Freedom Foundation said the video violated the First Amendment right of some of the cadets. West Point has since pulled the clip down. The team is now under investigation for violating the Constitution. Tim Tebow is joining the New York Mets baseball family, but that doesn't mean he's heading straight to the big leagues. The former NFL football player will be getting some baseball training before playing for the Mets in the minor leagues. Tebow will get a crash course at the Mets training camp in Florida while playing instructional league games. Tebow and Mets general manager Sandy Alderson spoke with the press through a conference call Thursday.
Whether Tim makes it to the big leagues or not, both he and we will determine, in the sense that we are going to provide every opportunity for that to happen, and I know Tim is committed to that.
I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and honestly, I'm just looking forward to getting to work.
Tebow has a long road before possibly entering the major leagues. Experts say the 6'3", 260-pound athlete has impressive batting practice power, but he struggles against former major league pitchers. Coming up, everything you need to know about America's most dangerous enemy. The director of Jihad Watch brings us the lowdown in the Complete Infidel's Guide to Iran. Next. "15 years after 9/11, the world is still a very dangerous place. So who is the most serious enemy America faces today? Is it ISIS? Think again. Terrorism expert Robert Spencer says it's actually Iran. Our George Thomas speaks with Spencer in just a minute, but first, here's a quick look at what Iran has been up to.
Iran is the terrorist powerhouse of the world, made all the more dangerous by the disastrous nuclear deal that did almost nothing to restrict Iran's nuclear ambitions. The Iranian government is an open enemy of the United States. It confronts U.S. Navy ships in the Persian Gulf on a near daily basis. Once America's ally, Iran now claims leadership of the global jihad, and the Ayatollah's aim is nothing less than world conquest for Islam. In a new book, The Complete Infidel's Guide to Iran, best-selling author Robert Spencer exposes the true nature of the threat Iran poses and lays out what America must do to defeat it before it's too late.
We are on the 15th anniversary this month of the 9/11 attacks. Where is the United States today in the terms of the global war on terror? Are we safer as a nation or not?
We are much more in danger, and it's because the Obama administration is committed to a policy of not dealing with the ideological roots of the problem. We can't defeat an enemy we don't understand, and this is one we refuse to understand.
What are the consequences of this?
Well, there could be many more terror attacks. There probably will be on the scale of 9/11 and worse.
Why is Iran, in your opinion, a more serious threat to the West than, for example, ISIS or Al-Qaeda?
Iran is smarter than ISIS and Al-Qaeda and better established. It has a global network of terror organizations itself, Hezbollah and Hamas, most notably. And Hezbollah is not just in Lebanon. They're working in Mexico, in northern Mexico with the drug cartels, and that's ultimately to get over the border and wreak havoc.
When you look at, in light of this, what you've said, and in light of the deal that was signed this year by the United States and other countries, how damaging was that to the U.S., Israel, and the rest of the Western world?
The potential catastrophe cannot be understated. The fact is that Iran wants to nuke Israel, and Obama has essentially given it a green light to get nuclear weapons now.
We have a narrative in the U.S. where politicians to others who say that Islam is a religion of peace. Where is the disconnect based on what you see and hear in places like Iran?
It's just willful ignorance. It's abundantly clear that Islam is not a religion of peace, but our policymakers are committed to policies that are based on ignoring that. We wouldn't be letting in huge numbers of Muslim immigrants if we recognized that. And so if they admit it, they're admitting that they are engaging in policies that are going to be devastating for the United States, so they can never admit it.
Help us understand this. The Obama administration has been operating on this idea that if we treat Iran with kindness, they will respond with kindness, and that Iran will bring stability to the region. Is there something wrong with that premise?
Everything is wrong with it. That's based on the idea that the Iranians are just like Westerners and come from a Judeo-Christian context where one does respond to kindness with kindness. In the Islamic context, they deal with strength and weakness. And the kindness is a sign of weakness and is to be responded to with contempt when it comes from an unbeliever. The Quran says Muhammad is the apostle of Allah. Those who follow him are merciful to one another, but ruthless to the unbelievers.
Can you talk about the danger in this tension that exists? It's palpable today between the Sunni branch of Islam and the Shia branch of Islam. The divisions are there. How dangerous are they?
Well, they're very dangerous insofar as that conflict comes west and involves the United States. Obviously, when they're consumed with fighting one another, then they're not fighting us. However, there's an old proverb that is my brother against my brother, but both of us against our cousin. Sunnis and Shia will always unite to fight against infidels, and so we have to be aware of that.
And in this case, the infidels being the United States, Israel, and Western countries. Exactly. And you're seeing this play out in the desert sands of Yemen, whether it's in Syria. Do you see this happening across the Middle East, where there is this proxy war between these two branches of Islam?
Oh, absolutely, yes. And notably most in Iraq, with the Islamic State, which is Sunni, fighting against the Iraqi army and the Iranians, who are Shiite.
In March of this year, Secretary of State John Kerry, under intense pressure from various human rights groups, the church, parachurch organizations, and others like yourself, labeled what is taking place today in the Middle East against Christians, Yazidis. He used the term genocide. Have we seen the results of that? What are the consequences of that? And has the United States, for that matter, any Western country, done anything to stop this?
No, nothing's been done. It was just empty verbiage to score political points. There was no action behind it. And still, it's a tremendous blot on the record of the Obama administration that they have stood by. They enabled this to happen by their policies and then stood by and let it happen and let these people suffer.
Why is the United States not doing anything to intervene on behalf of Christians who are suffering in the Middle East?
The Obama administration has a decided preference for Muslims. They've let in these migrants and 99% of them have been Muslims, even though the Syrian population before the war was 10% Christian. And since the Christians have been attacked so mercilessly, the refugees ought to be thus at least 10% and probably more. But that's not been the case. Very few of them have been Christian, and the Obama administration seems intent on social engineering more than humanitarian relief.
How do we pray for our Christian brothers and sisters in the Middle East?
Well, what we need to do, of course, is pray primarily for their safety, and that peace be secured in those regions such that the church is once again able to live and even to flourish. And for the defeat, I should say, of the demonic entities that are persecuting the church, preventing conversion from Islam to Christianity, and so on.
Robert Spencer, as always, appreciate your insights, and thank you so much for coming back on the broadcast.
Thank you.
Up next, he answered the call to action after 9/11, and he answered the call to adopt when 2 boys needed a home. See how CBN is helping this warrior and his family to be everything they've been called to be. Sunday marks the 15th anniversary of the day that changed everything, 9/11. Americans watched in horror at the reports of our cities on fire. And when Billy and his wife saw it happen, they knew they needed to take action.
U.S. Army soldier Billy didn't plan on a career in the armed forces, but 9/11 changed his mind.
When I saw those towers fall, I really connected to, serving your country. I needed to focus on what it means to be an American and doing my part.
Billy joined the Army and deployed to the front lines, leaving his wife Lindsay behind, pregnant with their first child. Lindsay supported his decision to enlist and trusted God to bring him home.
Every military wife has that fear. Will they come back? You just kind of let go. You put your trust in God. You just take one day at a time.
Since that first year, the couple has navigated through multiple deployments and raised 4 kids. Lindsay says Billy does a great job balancing his career and family.
I'm very proud of Billy giving all this time to our country, to our family, and being the example that he has been.
Billy believes it's Lindsay who deserves the recognition.
The spouses are the backbone of this country, because without them, there's no way we could do anything, and do what we do.
The family dynamics changed dramatically when the couple took in 2 siblings being raised by their grandmother. When she got sick and could no longer care for them, Billy and Lindsay were approved to adopt the boys. That meant reworking the family budget.
We had to analyze our finances. My mind was racing, looking at our finances in our current situation. God's guiding us, so I know that He's always provided. He continues to provide.
Billy and Lindsay are members of First Baptist Church Killeen near Fort Hood, Texas. The church contacted Helping the Homefront and asked if CBN could help with the adoption fees. We said yes. Pastor Randy Wallace stopped by to let them know that CBN would help.
They wanted to provide y'all with $5,000 to help with the future legal fees. And we as a church are thrilled to be a part of that as well. Wow.
And that wasn't the only surprise.
They want to take you on a shopping spree to Sears, and they're going to spend hundreds of dollars today with you at Sears, making sure that your kids have fresh tennis shoes, and blue jeans, and whatever else y'all need.
Thank you.
We ought to do more than just stand back and applaud. And that's where their organization has already come to the table with that.
That is cool. Which one do you like?
CBN took the family shopping to buy what they needed to accommodate all the children. Now this Army family can focus on finalizing the adoption with a little less financial stress.
Helping the Homefront has definitely changed our story and could definitely change other military family stories to make a dream come true that they didn't even know they could even ask for. We're so thankful.
The Homefront is CBN's outreach to military families. If you want to support Helping the Homefront, give CBN a call at 888-777-1999. You can also find out more at cbn.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The weekend is here, so you may be looking for some family-friendly entertainment. For some help, we turn now to our friends at Plugged In Online with a review of the new film Sully. Take a look.
They called it The Miracle on the Hudson. The movie Sully takes a look at U.S. Airways Flight 1549. On January 15, 2009, while en route from New York's LaGuardia Airport to Charlotte, this flight was hit by multiple birds. With the power to both engines gone, Captain Chesley Sullenberger, also known as Sully, decided to make a risky landing in the frigid Hudson River.
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
What? His roll of the dice paid off. All 155 people aboard survived, and Sully and his crew were hailed as heroes. But even as the world celebrated the fact that no one was lost, U.S. Airways grieved a big loss of their own, the Airbus A320 that went down in the river. Did both engines really lose power as the pilot insisted? Couldn't they have somehow turned around and touched down safe and sound back at LaGuardia? Couldn't they have tried to go to another airport? Is Sully really the hero the world is making him out to be? Clint Eastwood's latest directorial effort tells this remarkable real-world story in a stirring, straightforward manner. It salutes not just Captain Sullenberger, but the courageous efforts of the other heroes of that day, too. That said, we do see imagined crashes, both in computer simulation and in Sully's own dreams, and in addition, moviegoers will hear the use of several harsh profanities and a smattering of mild ones as well. So I'm giving Sully 3 flotation devices out of 5 for family friendliness. For a full review, be sure to visit us at PluggedIn.com. Plugging you into the movies, I'm Bob Olszewski for Focus on the Family's Plugged In Movie Review.
That's it for now on CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care about most at cbnnews.com. And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here. You can do that on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.